kind of.
So it's all good.
We just have to have that. Sorry.
Hey, good morning, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started. About 5 after or so. Welcome everybody that's online along with the ones that's here. And it's funny, this morning I was getting ready and I was just sitting there thinking, wow, what a turnout we're going to have today. The in-person turnout. And I got to think about that Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams. Anybody remember the saying in that? If you build it, they will come. I got thinking about this meeting, thinking about that movie and everything. You know, they kept saying, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. Figured it out. If we'll feed you, y'all will come. So we got to start having feeding meetings to get people here in person. So I think that might be our new little motto for the Mecklenburg UCC meetings is if you feed them, they will come. But again, thank y'all for being here. I think the weather might have helped us a little bit getting more people here too with it raining. All them old contractors ain't out there working. Luckily they're at home. But again, we'll get started. We got 10 or 12 or so online.
Yes, sir.
And a bunch in here. But with that, I know we're all busy, and I'd like to start out by saying, Jermaine, I appreciate y'all's help yesterday. George, y'all's, Robert, Heath, on them issues that we had. Again, I contribute all of that back to these meetings, making those contacts. When you have issues, you're able to reach out and get the help. Brian, wasn't much out of you, but I still appreciate it, buddy. No, just kidding. You was the behind the scenes part of it, and I appreciate that. But with that, we'll move on, get started, and let Tammy go over what you need to do on the computer and everything else.
You hold on to that one. I'll do this. Well, actually, I'll take that one. Thank you. Good morning, folks. I'm glad to see y'all this morning. Good morning, everybody online. I'm glad to have you here virtually as well. We are being recorded, just as a reminder. This will serve as a copy of our minutes. I'm going to turn my little computer around here so I can face everybody in the room and talk to the folks online as well. So give me just 1 second. For you folks online that maybe have not done this, if you would kindly please type your information into the chat section, your email, your telephone number, your company name, and your name. And for you folks in the room, there is a sign-in sheet going around. If you don't mind signing in, please, and any company or contact information you'd like to share there. It is November 30th. We are almost into that magical month of December, where people seem to lose their minds. If you've got anybody that you're involved with that lives at your house or that visits your house under the age of about 15, they are definitely on the lookout for Santa. My grandson, who is almost 13, would be mortified for me to tell you that, you know, he's still waiting for Santa, but he is. We have a saying in our family that if you don't believe, you don't receive. So he's still believing. No. Okay. So that being said, y'all remember that it is still deer season out there. Ann and I were actually talking on the phone, hands-free, of course, safety, on our way home from 2 different meetings. and a deer ran out and hit her. She did not hit it. It ran out and hit her. So this is the aftermath of her run-in with said deer. For those of you that know her, you know she likes to hunt. She did not go home with dinner that night. This one ran off and was nowhere to be seen. But please remember, dusk and dawn are the high risk time periods. If you see one deer, he's got or she's got some friends not too far behind. This was at 5:10 in the afternoon when it came bounding out and got her. A few words from Louis Panzer, our executive director. The DIRT report has been released. DIRT is the damage information reporting tool. Damages are trending almost flat or just slightly up so far. New membership agreements are being required for associate members. We are clarifying the release of liability to North Carolina 811 for actions taken by those members. Basically, we want everyone to know that if you're an associate member, you're an associate member. North Carolina 811 is not responsible for your actions. And congratulations to Bobby Gerganis as the very first recipient of the Safe Digging Challenge coin. And I'll have a little bit more about that in just a couple of minutes. IDing your marks, just a reminder for utility owners and their in-house or contract locators, is it a responsibility of the law to make sure that those lines are being identified by the facility operator who owns that line. So we've been getting a lot of calls and some feedback that location marks are being provided without an operator ID. For example, the town of Tammy, TOT, that's my town identifier, the town of Tammy. If I'm not identifying that mark, I'm not doing what the law says. The law says that I am required to start at the beginning of that locate, at the end of that locate, and 200 linear feet, every 200 linear feet along that locate, I am required to tell you that that line belongs to me. So I'm required to mark TOT along that line to let you know who that belongs to. It is especially important right now with all of the telecom facilities that are occupying the same space and on the same tickets. So please make sure that you are instructing your locators, again, contractor in-house, that this step is required on every locate. As well, if that utility underground, sorry, got a little happy there. If that utility underground is over 4 inches in diameter, it is required to be marked with the diameter or width of that facility. For example, a 6-inch water line every 50 feet would be marked 6-inch so that the excavator can increase the size of their tolerance zone every 50 feet. If that utility is over 4 inches in diameter, that way they know, okay, 6-inch water line, I need to increase that by 3 inches on each side. 3 inches, half of 6, 3 inches to each side, 24 now becomes 27-inch tolerance zone. So just make sure that everybody is doing that as well. Our first Safe Digging Partner Most Valuable Professional Award went to Bobby Gerganis with Piedmont Natural Gas. Bobby is a pipeline inspector with Piedmont. He is a lifelong resident of Onslow County. He works out of the New Bern office and covers Onslow County. He's been with P&G for 17 years. He was nominated by a locate tech down in that area just because of his commitment to safety, his involvement with his UCCs, a whole host of other things that are required to be nominated for this Safe Digging Challenge coin. And we actually awarded our second one in October to Richard Walsh with Dominion Energy out of the Asheville, Buncombe, Asheville area. Really excited to be able to recognize those gentlemen for their hard work and their commitment to excavation safety. Data and insights for the month of October. New locate requests were up 12.3%, 230,273. Last year at this time, we were at 204,000 and change. Year to date, this is January 1 through October 31, locates for the year 2,133,045. Folks, that's a 7.3% increase over last year. If you wonder why you're busy, there's the answer. Transmissions are up as well. Transmissions for the month of October, 1,244,657, an increase of 9.7%. As always, a reminder about the difference, the transmission and the ticket. One ticket, I'm putting in a mailbox. Transmissions are how many folks that are notified about every single locate request. Right now, on average, for every single locate, there are 5.4 utilities notified. So in the area where I'm changing out my mailbox, there might be water, sewer, gas, fiber, and electric. So 5 transmissions for one ticket. Tickets year to date up as well, 3.7%, 11,499,223. Here's one of the reasons we're here. Ticket volume for Mecklenburg County for the month of October. New tickets were actually down just a little bit, 1.8%, 18,402. Total tickets were up 4.5%. Total tickets include retransmits and updates. Total tickets for the month of October for Mecklenburg County, 32,689. Average locates per day for Mecklenburg County, 1,557. That is a lot of traveling back and forth across the county. Year to date for Mecklenburg County, new tickets, again, were actually down just a little bit, 1.6%. New tickets for Mecklenburg for the year so far, 177,058. Total tickets for Mecklenburg County year to date, 316,849, a 3.7% increase. Ticket distribution, you will notice there is nothing on there under 400. Y'all, there were 1 here, 50 there, 17 there. I just left the really big guys on there. Obviously, Charlotte, City of Charlotte itself, 26,492. Huntersville, 2,100. Matthews, 935. Davidson, Matthews, Mint Hill, Pineville, 408. Damage events. Damage events reported for the month of October for Mecklenburg County, 167 damage events reported. There are 100 counties in the state. 25 of those folks reported no damages. I hope that's the case, but I'm not holding my breath. Third quarter incidents reported by work type. You're not going to be surprised to hear that, of course, telecommunications was leading the way on that one, 909, followed by water, electric, and then natural gas. Of the damage events reported, 3,386 were reported in the third quarter. Of those, 3,297 were actual damages. 89 of those, 2.6% of those, were near misses. Of the top 3 counties, they represent 37% of the total incidents reported, and that's going to be Wake, Guilford, and Mecklenburg. And of the top 10 counties, 3 of those represent 56% of that group. Important dates coming up. The next Damage Prevention Review Board, Underground Damage Prevention Review Board meeting, Tuesday, January the 17th. That will be at the North Carolina 811 Event Center in Greensboro. Ann, do you know if the galley is allowed back into those meetings yet, or if it's still going to be a virtual option?
Yes, ma'am. Should not be any problems unless, we have some sort of major COVID outbreak or something, but, or if you've got the flu, please stay home, but otherwise, yes, it will be open to the public. And also, I did want to mention that we were able to secure all the minutes online. You are more than welcome to go out to the website, read through the minutes, and they are archived minutes up to the current minutes. So the next project I'm working on is trying to tie the cases to the dockets. That's something that I'll be working on at the beginning of the year, but hopefully we will be able to get that resolved. That way you can search those cases a little easier. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. The next state UCC meeting, Tuesday, January the 10th, that also will be at the 811 Event Center in Greensboro. That one will have a hybrid option if you're not able to attend in person. Lunch will be provided, so please make sure you RSVP. That meeting will start at 10, and the next LRPC, Locate Resolution Partnership Committee meeting. Actually, that one was Wednesday, November the 16th. I'm going to ask Dan for an update on that one. Ta-da, surprise. Good morning, Dan.
Hey, good morning. Not much of a huge update. It's kind of the same. We're trying to track, these update tickets, trying to really dig into all that and see if there's, any kind of correlation between like the updates and 3 hours and things like that. Right now we're tracking a couple of Duke's contractors are high up on the list. Not really a big surprise, I don't think, but I think we're going to try to sit down with some of these folks that are high up on that update list and kind of talk with them and see what kind of if they have any reasonings and stuff, and see what we can't do to kind of help them drive that update down a little bit. So yeah, I think other than that.
Thank you, sir. Do you know when the next one? I think January 9th.
Oh, I do not know offhand.
And do you have the next meeting date, or do you know?
January 18th.
18th. Okay, sorry, I was close. January 18th.
Sorry, I was trying to get to my calendar. 18th, yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Tonight in Durham, if you feel like making a drive, the 18th annual American Tobacco Tower Lighting will be tonight starting at 6 o'clock. It is a free event. I know we've participated for a number of years. Ann will be there tonight helping to represent North Carolina 811, handing out free light wands, which are baby lightsabers, and light up yo-yos. But this is a huge event. Kind of kicks off the holidays in the Durham area. A lot of people get out there. So obviously, if we've got a good audience that we can get to, we want to talk to them while we're there. So we get the opportunity to speak to a lot of folks. So appreciate you being out there in the rain today, Ms. Rushing.
Absolutely. And I do want to thank Dominion Energy. They have been a sponsor of this event for quite a few years, and Dominion and of course Lewis with NC 811, they will be lighting the tower, and we'll do that around 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Education team, as always, you've seen these faces except for this new one in the middle, Tyler. Tyler Ross is the education liaison that was hired to take Brian Morehouse's place. Brian's was out in the western part of the state. Tyler has joined us. He is now on board and attending meetings. Super great guy. Excited to work with him. He came from soil and water conservation. And if it's somebody who lives past the Gaston County state line, or Gaston County line, Gaston is a state in and of itself at this point. Somebody that lives past the Gaston County line, I'm thinking Tyler probably knows them or is related to them. Copy of this presentation will be available at ncucc.org PDF. The video copy will also be available because it will serve as our minutes, along with the sign-in roster online and the sign-in sheet that went around the room that y'all signed in for. So thank you very much. Thank you, Roger, for grabbing that. Don't forget that any of those events that you're interested in are going to be on the North Carolina 811 or UCC calendar. With that, I am going to turn this over to Roger and go back to my month slide, because I know that's where we want to go.
While she's doing that, for everybody that's in here, there's snacks and stuff up there. Per se, make yourself at home, get what you want. Lunch will be here.
11:15 probably.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Told y'all I'd supply lunch at this meeting, and y'all know I'm poor, so all I could do was peanut butter and jelly.
Hey, you let him say that. Roger Richards supplied lunch today, not Sanders Utility, Roger Richards. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's why it's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But looking at that, and I'm not going to pick on Don here with City, but prior to everybody getting here, was talking about 3-hour tickets, and we really don't have any other contractors in here besides myself and Justin with state utilities. And what we were talking about there is, and I told Don, I said, I'm going to blame contractors for that, because if it's just a communication line that's not been located, when the contractor calls that 3-hour ticket in, they need to say, I don't need gas, I don't need power, I don't need water. It's somebody's communication line. That way, when 811 distributes it back out, it only goes to USIC or whoever is locating. What's the stake one or one something? Stakes, there you go. I knew it was something like that. That's your. And again, I hate we don't have more contractors that come to these meetings that could see this and understand it. But Justin, I'm gonna ask you to relay that too, and I will. And if we can get more involved with that, then that way, I mean, there's 1,557 tickets a day got to be located in Mecklenburg County. And if we're having to pull Charlotte Water or USIC because it was a gas line that wasn't marked, that takes them away. Or we're getting USIC, but everybody else is coming, what takes them away from getting stuff located also. And then from a contractor standpoint, we're waiting. As Dan said in the Locate Resolution Committee, their contractors is one of the biggest ones on the updates, but that could be contributed to the 3-hour tickets also. You know, it's a snowball effect all the way across the board. And if we can work on that, as Sam Gonzalez used to say, and I always go back to it, if we were clean our own house. So if we will educate our people out there, our foremen, superintendents, and all that, the ones that's out there that realize that something's not located, when you do a 3-hour ticket, just ask for the one that's not located. Don't say, I need everything done.
Hey, Roger,
So
this is Tristan. So I have a question. So that would help the overall, the system, but as far as a percentage number, like you see the 24.9, it's not going to help the percentage. It's still going to count as a 3 hour, but you're saying just overall as what needs to be marked, it would help
Right.
that, correct?
Right, right.
Okay.
And you know, it's also a discussion too that so much pressure is put on these locators is to get out there, get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done, and keep moving. I mean, we all understand that we're all in business to make money when it comes down to it. Me and Tim was talking too earlier that stuff's being put in the ground, it's getting turned over. How long is it before it's on the mapping system for the locators to locate it? The contractor gets out there, sees a cable come down the pole, but nobody knows because it's a new installation. You know, is that driving some of these numbers up? You know, again, snowball effect. There'd be new stuff put in, not on the maps, locators can't locate it, contractor gets out there, sees it, calls in a 3 hour ticket, and then everybody scratching their head trying to figure out whose it is. And I know probably from a locator standpoint, they don't want to put any paint on the ground and hold themselves liable if it's not theirs or if they're not contracted to locate it. So we just all got to work together through it. I do like the update tickets is coming down though. They're not as high as they were. Is that the month or the year?
That was the month. Year to date's actually at 9.6% for MEC.
9.
For the month, it was 12.5.
Yeah, that's still a lot better than it was a year ago.
Yes, sir.
Don't mind us, Amy. But again, I contribute all of this to these type of meetings where we all get together. We're able to look at this, the locate resolution committee looks at a ton of numbers. I mean, if you could see some of them numbers we look at in that thing and make you go cross-eyed. But it's great information. And as we always say too, to the locators, if you're out there and the contractor's abusing it, the system, and you know it, like doing an emergency ticket when it's not actually a true emergency, pass that information along to 811 so that they can go out there and educate these people. You know, hopefully the more we can educate them, the better off we'll all be.
I will say, I appreciate you saying that message because I do get more calls and more emails and more texts of people reaching out saying, hey, can you provide some education to XYZ company? So I really do appreciate that.
You know, I'll agree with Tammy on that. We appreciate all of that. But yet there's billboards all over the side of the roads, going down 40, going to some of the meetings. Those big tanks has got 811 on them, you know.
I'm glad you mentioned those billboards because Ann and I had been working on the billboard project. We are going to be utilizing some digital billboards this year, as well as those that are stationary. The static billboards, really excited to use those because on those billboards, you can switch out the message every couple of minutes. I'm trying to give you time. You can switch out that message every couple of minutes. So really that billboard is going to have 6 or 7 different North Carolina 811 commercials. And it'll just keep changing. Whereas, you know, those that are stationary, you're just going to see that same billboard time after time when you pass it. Not only will we be using those digital, but we'll also be able to continue with our Spanish billboards this year. We got a grant last year to do some billboards in Spanish, and we are going to continue with those as well and use some of that on our digital option. So really excited about that coming up. We have, we'll have 35 billboards around the state. And we have contractors that are interested in participating again, and those contractors have 10 billboards up around the state in different markets that have that message. I'm sorry. We are going to do tailgate wraps again this year. I'll let Ms. Rushing speak on that one, please.
Yes,
Go ahead.
I do have money budgeted for the tailgate wrap. Our goal has been each year we find a stakeholder that we can partner with. So if you recall, we obviously worked with contractor stakeholders one year. The one group that we really want to seek and finish, adding those tailgate wraps to are the EMCs. We have been able to work with several one-on-one, but that's kind of the ultimate goal there. But I am certainly open if there are folks out there that would like a tailgate wrap. We do offer up to 2, and currently we have been offering $225 towards each of those tailgate wraps. So if you're interested, please let us know.
We just recently partnered with PD Electric in Anson County. PD covers 7 different counties in the eastern, sort of middle eastern part of the state. So there are 4 trucks down there covering those 6 counties that now have the tailgate wrap on them, reminding folks to call before they dig. And that was a fantastic investment. We're really excited to be able to partner with PD to do that. Again, 4 trucks, 7 counties, they're all over the place.
And Tammy, the last 2 that I just recently did in the last month was the town of Clayton. They are up in the Wake County. So yes, we would love to have more interest down in the Mecklenburg as well.
Thank you, ma'am. We're gonna pause for a commercial break for just a second. I wanted to give Roger time to finish. He had to stop and ask a question, so I wanted to give him time to continue. Sorry.
Sorry about that. I was asking Tim about giving us a state update, so I'm gonna give him a few minutes unless you're ready. All right. Wait a minute. You can't go without this thing.
Right. Yeah, as far as the state meeting goes, we talked a lot about the upcoming conference, and it is going to be on May the 3rd, 4th, and 5th up at Harris Cherokee, which will be a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday event. I know we'll have golf on Wednesday, then the conference will be on a Thursday and Friday there. As far as any other updates in the meeting, I don't really recall any at this time. I know we did. Tammy spoke about as far as the partnership, the Piedmont guy there that gave out the coin and all. But I think that's about it.
So for anybody who's not familiar, Tim's talking about the North Carolina, South Carolina joint UCC conference. We've done this. Tim, you've been around doing this longer than I have. I know at least 8 years. Tim's been the chair of the committee before, co-chair, secretary, but the joint conference, this is folks from South and North Carolina that will get together and talk about any issues and concerns that kind of happen about, both sides of the state, successes. I know, or I'm 90% sure that we've got a gentleman who's going to be coming and talking from Homeland Security. Is that correct, Ann?
Well, I have passed that along to Chase, and hopefully he will get that worked out, but he does have that information. So fingers
Awesome.
crossed.
Thank you. This gentleman is, so we did some training with a company out of Kansas called Paradigm. They do pipeline training with pipeline operators for first responders and contractors. And in one of those training sessions, there's a gentleman who does work with Homeland Security So, you know, they are watching. They're watching those big transmission lines, the gas transmission. They're watching electrical. They're watching the water sewer, because those are places that, unfortunately, if someone wanted to mess with infrastructure, those are places that they could hit that would really cause a lot of problems for citizens. So hoping that he's going to be able to participate. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. And Tim, I apologize for not coming to you sooner on the state deal. You know, that old age, it went away from you and then came back. So we do appreciate that. With that, does anybody have any questions on these numbers or anything like that before we move into damages? Anybody online?
All right, folks, anybody have any questions or concerns online? I know Lindsay's typing a message right now.
All good information so far. Thanks.
Tammy, I was just typing, thanks to Tim for talking about that. Roger, I guess you forgot I sit on that board too.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. She was just going to say thank you to Tim for that update. Lindsay's the secretary this year. Unfortunately, she's with us online. She wasn't feeling well, so she very kindly stayed home so as not to pass the crud on to everybody else. And Tracy did too, so thank you both.
Oh, Tracy, while she was calling on you and you give the thumbs up, you want to go ahead with your damage report for the city?
Sure, I can do that. Believe it or not, I did do that, even as sick as I was. You can't see it. See?
Can you speak up just a little bit more, please? Your boss
Yeah,
man's
if I
sitting here too, just to let you know that. So
If I can do it without coughing, yes. All right. So this is what I have wrote down. Water services for the month of October. There were 10 that were hit that were marked and 9 that were hit that weren't marked. Water mains, there were 2 that were hit that were marked and 2 that were hit that were not marked. That's the water part. Piedmont Natural Gas, we hit 2 unmarked and 1 marked. Don't know if they were mainer services. I don't remember. AT&T, we had 3 that were not marked and 3 that were marked. Spectrum, we had 5 that were not marked and 4 that were marked. Duke Energy, we hit 3 marked lines. We hit 1 unmarked Carolina Water line and 1 marked Google line. And that's all I found.
it sounded like your ratio was even across the board. You hit same amount marked as you hit unmarked, just about. So, and you didn't leave nobody out from not hitting them.
No, it doesn't look that way.
So as they say in Days of Thunder, you just had a perfect day then, or actually a perfect month. Joel, are you going to do Piedmont? All right, let me come over here to you.
Good morning. As far as natural gas damages for the month of October, there were 60 damages to natural gas. The increase in tickets was approximately 1,000 tickets. September had 27,612. October had 28,567. I'm supposed to hold it closer. Okay. Oh, okay. Anyways, apologize if you couldn't hear me very well, but the top 3 root cause damages, top prize goes to no notification to the 811 center. The second one goes to excavator not maintaining clearance and causing the damage. And the third one in the top 3 is inaccurate, insufficient locate marks. So between those 3, they get the gold, silver, and bronze. So that's it. That's our report this month.
I can honestly say we was part of that silver one. I think we got a couple of them. Well, I can tell you for a fact, we stuck a probe rod through one of them trying to find it. We find, yeah, when they called me and said, well, we stuck a probe rod through the gas line, I said, well, it sounded like you found it. And so we got them to dull down their probe rod there a little bit. But you know, it's going to happen. The unfortunate side of that is it's going to happen when you're trying to pothole and find things and probing as hard as this ground is around here. And but my biggest thing on your report there, Joel, was people not calling in 811, and we're just sitting there talking about our reality. There's no excuse in that. And I know you probably don't know this, but is it out of state contractors or, you know, huh? You can. Don't call no names, but
Yeah, the folks online can't hear you.
Normally, those no locates are smaller businesses or homeowners, you know.
that was all excavators. But you know, even with homeowners, I know that we're partnered. I say we, referring to 811, is partnered with Lowe's.
We have partnered with Lowe's, with Home Depot, but yes, definitely Lowe's. In the past, we've partnered with Ingalls. We've partnered with Ace Hardware in the western part of the state. Lots of places where, you know, that message is getting out to homeowners.
I'm sure from locator standpoint, y'all out there putting paint on the ground, them homeowners come out, won't know what you're doing, painting their yard and everything else. Don just rolled his eyes at me and, you know, it's amazing with all the billboards. If you go to Lowe's and buy a shovel, it's on it. Now, Home Depot and all of that, people are to know what 811 is. They probably do know what it is. They don't understand the paint marks. I think maybe what it comes down to. I sort of see I call them mom and pop companies. We see that in a lot of other issues, not just 811. But that's interesting. There's no excuse on that. And I'm gonna ask the question. I really know the answer to, but y'all are passing that information along to, I'm getting a yes nod, so.
Yes. Yes, they are.
I'm looking up there, Joel, like you.
In addition, for these no notifications made, we send a list every month to our fearless leader and Louis Panzer, and he sends out letters to each of the contractors that have that issue.
I think Louis mentioned that in our meeting a couple of weeks ago, didn't he, Dan? So any way we can get that message out there more than what it is going to benefit all of us. You know, ultimately, the number one goal is for everybody to go home at the end of the day. You know, I hate to say if you hit a cable line, communication line, that's going to hurt you in your pocketbook. You hit a gas line and it ignites, or a power line, you may not go home that day. So the more we can get this message out, the better off we all are across the board on that. Let me check. I ain't forgot you, Don. You got anything from USIC, Jermaine? Okay. Brian, anything you want to add, or you? Okay. Anybody else in here got anything on damages? Tim, do you have? Okay. David, he ain't paying me no attention now. Anybody?
Rob, anything on your end? Nope, he's just happy to be here. He's my people.
Oh, he just ready to eat. It
Scott.
ain't here yet. Get you a snack cake up there. Is anybody online, got any damages they want to talk about?
Eric from Town of Matthews said they are good.
Okay.
Court, anything you want to share this morning?
No, everything's good.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. Ryan Mack.
We're good over here. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Russ.
Good here.
Hey, I'm down for good. Mr. Tate Osborne, anything from the city that you would like to share this morning? Any damage events or any concerns that you have? Anything that you would like to any compliments? I mean, we always talk about, you know, the bad stuff, but we also want to talk about the good stuff. He might be in the middle of something. That means Bo is next. Time for a weather report.
All good on my end. Weather this morning was a little wet. I'd say be a little careful on where you pull off on the side of the road so you don't get stuck. How about that?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, y'all be careful if you have to pull over. Eric was good. Mr. Talbert, hope you're doing well. Anything from Colliers?
No, I'm just still talking about the Project Atlas. If anybody out there, you know, if we come calling about the Project Atlas, you know, we're looking for facilities and stuff like that to put into the database. So other than that, no, doing pretty good on this end. Thank you.
Thank
Tammy.
you, sir. Appreciate that. He was talking about Project Atlas. Yeah, trying to get information for DOT that is not going to be shared outside for infrastructure planning. Tristan, anything from your end?
Nope, I'm all good.
Brian, how about you? Anything on your end that you'd like to share? Maybe not, might be doing double duty as well. No.
And did you have anything from the board side, since Carl wasn't on here, that you want to share or could share?
No, nothing at this point. Well, you know, hold on. The board nominations did go out, and so we're waiting, you know, for all of that to be finalized. And of course, that will at the annual meeting of any board seats that are available. Also, one of the things that I wanted to mention, so Friday, we have an education committee meeting where each year annually, we go through what we've done for the year and then look forward to our budget for 2023. Part of one of the discussions that we're going to have is we are doing some revamping on our Pipes Plus. And some of that kind of boils back down to the information from the DIRT report. Though the annual DIRT report shows that, and Joel, this kind of, you know, adds to your no one calls. Nationally, they are at 25%. I am happy to report in North Carolina that we still have a very low percentage. So, you know, at the beginning of the year, we were around 8% of damages were due to no one call. Then the next quarter, it was 8. Then it went down to 6. And then the last quarter was 5. So we are way below national average. But I said all that to say that we want to look at, you know, the education of what's next. After you've made the call, then what's next? So you're going to see in 2023 some new education come out for our Pipes Plus. The training will still remain about the same amount of time, but we're going to take out some redundancy. We're going to add some little mini videos that can be used by all of our stakeholders, throughout North Carolina. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you all. As Tammy stated, we will continue with the billboards, and we do feel like that our Spanish billboards are still very much needed, so we will continue with that. And of course, we are still continuing to, partner with as many stakeholders as we can to share the message at events or sporting. And then finally, we are still looking to partner nationally with the Martinsville race. So we'll hopefully be out there in April supporting that big event and sharing millions and millions of impressions about the 811 message. So lots of good stuff going on. And then hopefully after Friday, we'll have a good plan moving forward. We will continue with banners for April. So if you're interested in a banner, please, let Tammy know. She can put you on the list. We will continue with the same banner that we had this year. We do like to try to keep those out and about for at least 2 years with the same graphic. And then, we'll freshen it up and change that out. And then finally, we do still have some vehicle magnets. So if you are not a candidate for the tailgate wraps or interested in those, we would love to provide you some of those, magnets for your vehicles. We do still have a supply of those left. So let Tammy know on that, and we'll certainly get those to you as well. All right, I think that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Roger just asked a question about whether or not we partnered with any rental companies, equipment rental companies. And I will tell you on my end that we have made several attempts to get into equipment rental companies and just really haven't had a whole lot of luck. We were having some luck getting with Sunbelt and Walmart because they had opened up those little centers in Walmart, but those are now closing. So if you have a great contact with someone for Sunbelt or United, we'd love to have that. We are still partnering with Lowe's on the tool rental centers. So we are in there. Go ahead, Ann. I know you were going to add.
Yeah, so no, on the Sunbelt, we are continuing. So they are kind of revamping that project. And though the Walmart locations are closing, what they're looking at is their cluster markets. And that's typically where there's 12 Sunbelt rentals within an area. And so Charlotte is definitely one of them. And they will be looking at housing showrooms within those large rental locations that are really focused to the homeowner. So that is definitely forthcoming in the year. We'll be following up with them. As once again, I will be presenting that Friday too as well, that we will continue that partnership. It's just definitely taking a turn in a different direction, but we are still supportive of them, and we'll, continue to keep folks in the loop. And then finally, I know out west, we are very engaged with Dominion out at Ace Hardwares, and we are hopefully working with them on, so those are owned individually, I guess, as franchises. So we will be working with, some of those folks individually to have some vending opportunities, hopefully in April and potentially in August. So we'll keep you tuned in on that as well.
Thank you, Ann. I was just telling Tammy, I'll try to get some contacts for you, especially for United Rental, Herc Rental, and people like that, and see if we can reach out to them to where they can help get the message out when people rent equipment and things. I walked right by Don. Don wanted to announce somebody, and let me get back over here to him.
Actually, I got two things. First, I want to, this guy right here, Santiago Razor, is the new damage investigator for us. You'll see him out in the field quite a lot. The second thing I want to talk about is myself and Tracy, along with the blessings of Charlotte Water, is going to be partnering with the street department in their classes that they have. We have a PowerPoint that we will be showing and talking about to the people who's coming into the classes, and they're probably the first time they've been working in the county. And it talks about damages. It talks about the proper way to do tickets. It talks about a lot of things, and it's not just about Charlotte Water. It's about all utilities. Hopefully it'll take care of a lot of damages, reduce them by driving the point home of what it can cost you, what you do need to do, what you need to do to prepare to go out and dig. It's a lot of 811 stuff that we've incorporated into it, and hopefully it will drop the damages here because it'll make contractors out there that's actually doing the work a lot better. Prime example is in one of them, it's a 54-inch line over Roswell's Ferry Road that a contractor went right through the middle of it, under the railroad track, no railroad permit, didn't even call in locate. Luckily, there was marks out there though where we had done it for another contractor, and it cost him well over $300,000. So just hopefully it'll reduce the damages here in Charlotte.
You know, that's great that y'all gonna do that, and hopefully they'll pay attention to it. I mean, just like you said, it's, you know, not calling, that's a choice. And if you can afford not to make that choice, you know, and it's still crazy when, you know, they always say calling 811 and getting stuff located is free. We all know it costs the end user at the end, but it's still a lot cheaper than hitting something and getting a bill for $300,000, or God forbid, you kill one of your employees. I promise you, you're going to pay a lot more than that. So it's really not worth it. Well, since Robert didn't bring donuts this morning, like he said he was, he sure has helped out getting the food set up.
Hey, Roger, can I mention one more item?
Yes.
Thank you. While I was kind of digging into the dirt report, one of the things that I noticed, and actually it had, I had gotten a call within about the same day. If you guys are experiencing any members out there that are not providing positive response, please let us know. I had an incident out west where one of the members, you know, are not providing positive response. And of course, I think some of it's due to lack of support as far as having enough staff. So we are certainly wanting to work on that issue, because once again, when no positive response is applied, then several things happen. One, it, you know, therefore increases the 3-hour tickets. And then secondly, the excavator is put in a difficult situation of whether to dig or not dig. So we are trying to, once again, look at that issue as some low-hanging fruit, and what can we do to rectify that. So if you are aware of some issues in that response, please, you know, please let us know so that we can address it. And also in the interim, we're going to, you know, pull some reports and stuff and take a look at that. But that is an issue that we're dealing with.
thank you for that, Ann.
I will say, Carl just joined us. He had another conflict, but he was able to get out of there and he just joined us.
Glad you could make it, Carl. I asked Tammy just a little bit ago if you were on there. I couldn't tell, anything you got.
Hey, Roger. Hey, folks. Yeah, I don't have anything right offhand that I need to share that I could think of.
We can't hear you, sir.
Oh, can y'all hear me now?
A little bit better.
Okay. I I have my mouth on my phone, so yeah, I don't have anything to share with the group. I mean, do y'all have anything that you need from me?
Okay. We appreciate you joining in anyway. You know, we miss people when they're not here in person or online. So, anybody in the room have anything else they want to bring up or discuss? Anybody online have anything? Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Thank you. I'm not trying to put Rania on the spot, but she was just now able to join us. She was running an errand and picking up lunch. Ms. Neighbors, anything you'd like to share?
She just waving to everybody, but no, Rania, we do appreciate you picking that up and everything. If nobody online has anything,
I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas.
That was going to be what I was going to ask Roger. Our next meeting would be scheduled for January, December 28th. I know, yeah, I didn't think so. So we will not have a December meeting, folks. Just so you know, no December meeting. Thanks, Lindsay. I just saw that. We will meet again starting in January,
25th.
the January 25th.
Yeah, I was trying to pull that up as you were coming up here, and I'm shaking my head no at a December meeting, but you know, that decision's not mine, it's the committee's meeting, decision. I mean, you're only talking, what, 3 days right after Christmas? Probably a lot of people's gonna be off.
Asleep.
I am fortunate that my company does close for 2 weeks at Christmas and New Year, so that's why I always say no for a meeting in December. I don't know if I'll be in town or out of town or where. And I should have said this from the beginning, I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, able to eat more than you should, spend time with family and friends, and ultimately, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas since we're not going to see each other till January 25th. Biggest thing is stay safe. If you do have a live tree, please make sure that it's watered. From my past, I've seen many houses get lost, Christmas gifts get lost due to live Christmas trees. So please make sure they're watered. Don't leave the lights on it while you're not there. And all of that. That's my safety thing right there.
That's a good safety minute. Also, for those of you that are doing any shopping, make sure you cover those gifts or put them in the trunk so nobody can see them. Unfortunately, as we are all too aware, if somebody has something that if you have something that somebody else wants, they unfortunately feel entitled to help themselves to it a lot of times. So that's a bit of a problem. Folks, anything that anybody online wants to share, any safety or anyone in the room, anything else you want to share? Mr. Wilson, thank you. Please go ahead.
Hey, Tammy, I hope you guys can hear me now. Can you hear me?
Um,
Ah,
We can hear you online
okay.
clearly.
Well,
a little bit
gotcha.
better.
Gotcha. I've got my mouth up to my phone, but sorry about that. I'm just curious as to the damage review board. Is there voting going on for folks to be on that board, or is y'all may have already talked about it?
Mhm.
That's,
Are you talking about the underground review board?
okay, yeah, the underground review board. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah. My understanding, Carl, is there have been some folks recommended, and they have to be approved by the governor's office. But certainly if there's some interest there, I can put you in contact with Capitol Hill Management if you would like to do that.
Okay, and it's not me. I know someone who's interested. They said they put their name in a hat, so I just wanted to just
Okay.
check on it to see
Okay.
where it was. That's all.
Well,
Okay.
we can talk offline.
Okay, 10-4. Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Anyone else online or in the room have anything they want to bring up? Going once. Going twice. For the ones online, sorry y'all ain't here. We got Jersey Mike's here for the people that's here. But again, thank y'all for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. Again, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you January 25th. Do we know where, Tammy?
I don't have the location. I'm going to see if we can, if the room here with Piedmont will be available. Really do appreciate them sponsoring, and hosting us, allowing us to meet here. This is a great facility. I will say, make sure that when you come in that your shoes are clean, boots are wiped off. We did have a little bit of a problem a couple months ago. Somebody came in with really muddy boots, and I know that's hard, particularly when you work in the field, but leave them in the foyer or switch out in the car before you come in. We want to continue to be good guests. That's all I have. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas from 811.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, folks. Have a wonderful holiday
Bye,
season.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.